the arena. We have few new faces. We have Dolph is back. How you doing, Dolph?
Thank you, Richie. How you doing?
I'm doing good. We have a new guys in the show today, Ralph and Didier. Ralph and Didier, how you guys doing today? Welcome to the show.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you, man. Thank you for the invite.
Thank you for the invite, and happy to be with you guys to discuss about the Champions League.
Yes, sir. It is a Champions League edition, but we have to recognize Didier's jersey, Inter Milan.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Congratulations
to you.
after like
As we
11 years, I
recording the
think.
show, Inter just been crowned Italian champions. Champions.
That's,
Yes,
that's good.
In like 11 years or 10 years, something like that. And
I
the
think
last...
it was 9 or something. Yeah.
Since
Mourinho,
Mourinho, right?
2000,
with Mourinho.
2009, 2010 with Mourinho. The
10,
year of the treble.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of roller coasters along the way, but hey, the day
They did it.
arrived, you did it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is gonna be a Champions League edition. We got a few games coming up this week. City playing PSG at City, and then Real Madrid versus Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. So it's gonna be 2 intense games. So we're gonna start with the first questions. It's more towards Chelsea, Real Madrid in that questions. The pressing, guys. There was a high pressing in the first leg. Why was it that effective against the Madrid defense? And then do you guys think they're gonna press as high again in Stamford Bridge?
Yes. As far as like Chelsea, what happened is what made them so effective, especially during the first 15 to 20 minutes to start the game, is because the system they are playing, the 3-4-1-2, or they can also play 3-4 or 3-4-2-1. They've been playing that system ever since Tuchel took over. And it's also a system that's been embedded into that team also when they won it with Conte, like back in 2017. So it's kind of like a system that they've been used to, they've been playing. Real Madrid has played that system like at times during the season, but they're tried and tested and trust and system that they do under Zidane, the 90% of the time is 4-3-3. So when Real Madrid adjusted to match Chelsea's system, Chelsea basically they pretty much adjusted to came to Chelsea's home in terms of like Chelsea knew their patterns better. They knew where the pressing was. They knew where to find those players. As opposed to Real Madrid, where like even though they played the same system, it's not the same pattern of play, the same way that they press. Because when Real Madrid plays those 4-3-3, they do like a narrow press where they overload one side, the ball carrier, and then get the ball and then get the ball to counter attack. Chelsea was able to read those and find those little pockets of spaces, especially with Jorginho and Kante, like breaking those lines with his runs. So that's why Chelsea's pressing was so effective. I believe in the second leg, Real Madrid is going to go back to what they know in terms of the 4-3-3 and playing with Hazard and maybe Vinicius underneath Benzema and also Kroos, Modric and Casemiro. Given that Valverde is just recovering from COVID, I don't think he will start, but he will have some type of involvement in the game. Basically some type of involvement in the game as the game wears on, because one of the things also that that pretty much like was that was basically happening in the game is like Chelsea looked a little bit more energetic towards the end of the game than Real Madrid. Like those legs of Kroos and Casemiro and Modric, they started to kind of like gave up a little bit. I think
they play high minutes too in La Liga.
Exactly. So I think Valverde being back is going to help out Real Madrid with those giving them more legs in midfield in order to keep their shape and being able to stay within the game plan.
No problem. DJ, do you think that they're gonna go back to the 4-3-3?
I think they might go with the 4-1-2-1-2. The reason why is because when we start with the 3-5-2 or 3-4-3, besides the fact that Kroos and Modric and Casemiro, they need some rest, just like Rodolphe said, they need some rest. But Zidane got it wrong in the first half, because if you pay attention, Modric was pressing Rudiger, and Benzema was pressing Thiago, and Vinicius was pressing Christensen. So basically, Kroos and Casemiro, they were pressing
Kante and Jorginho.
Jorginho, exactly. So basically, with that pressing, they left a gap between the midfield and the defense. And that's where Mount, my nigga Mount, took advantage. So basically, that's Zidane realized that, and that's why Real played better like in the second half because Modric was not pressing that high. And the second thing is Kroos versus Kante. That will be key. That will be key. And he didn't play yesterday, and I'm happy to see that because he was playing since because he was really tired. Modric didn't play
for the entire 90.
What?
You're definitely going to need him for the entire 90. Like,
of course.
I think he would. Yeah.
But definitely it will be key to the game. And Valverde, I know he's not 100% fit, but we definitely need him to match the pace with Mount, Kante, Jorginho. And the second problem we had is the wingers. Marcelo and Carvalho, they are not in shape. They couldn't keep up with Aspi. He couldn't keep up with Chilwell. So basically that was in every action, it was like 3 versus 3. And imagine Werner, Pulisic, and Mount versus Varane, Nacho, and exactly. So basically, it's Chelsea should have like scored like in the first 20 minutes. Should have been like 2-3-0 in the first 20 minutes. But lucky for us, we got
they missed the chances.
So Zidane realized that. So basically, that's why we gotta switch to the 4-4-2 or 4-1-2-1-2.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Ralph?
I agree with both Richie, both Didier and Rodolphe, when it comes to the pressing, but there was an element of a stamina, that was very, very heavy on Madrid, because if you saw them, in the game prior to Chelsea and during the game, with Chelsea, they weighing out, as long as the game was going. So physically, they were not in the best shape. And I think this is the best decision that Zidane could have made by benching both Kroos and Modric yesterday. It's for yesterday's game versus Osasuna, because it was a glaringly and blatantly evident for everybody to see that these guys, they couldn't keep up for the whole 90 minutes with those engines in the middle of the pitch for Chelsea. So, and what happened, the why Chelsea was able to cut them off guard is because of what happened versus Liverpool. Liverpool actually allowed Kroos particularly and Modric too much time on the ball. And because I think it was a mistake for Klopp to start with Jota in the first leg, and Firmino didn't have the same verve and the same intensity, in the second leg, to make them pay for it, and they actually got exposed for that. You remember in the first leg, the 2 goals came from long passes, from Kroos, but they were not getting that, from Chelsea. Not only they were harassed, by Mount, by Pulisic, but there's also Kante bombing forward and projecting himself, in up the pitch, and he's making their lives, miserable. So they have less time on the ball to take through, and by doing so, I think it was detrimental to Madrid's game and to their their passing game too, because it starts with these 2 guys, with Kroos and Modric. And one other thing, I think Madrid was very wary of the potential breakaway, and the potential a fast break that Chelsea could exploit behind their line. So in a way, they stayed the defense, and the midfield, they stayed a little bit low, so they could anticipate those fast breaks. and that created a gap between the back lines, the middle lines, and the three guys up front, which makes it almost difficult, okay, for the guys up front to create for themselves because they have no support from the midfield. They have no support, okay, from the fullback either because Marcelo wasn't good, okay, during that game. And I think this is one of the components, okay, that wasn't, okay, stressed enough when it comes to what happened to Madrid, okay, into that game. But what we saw yesterday in the game versus Osasuna was a very rejuvenated Madrid team that took the game not only, okay, initiate the plays, creating chances, but also brought the intensity and paid off, okay, at the end of the day. I think we're gonna see a different Madrid side at Chelsea on Wednesday. Chelsea they need to keep doing what they were doing in the first half. Okay, as far as pressing, as far as playing with intensity, as far as a Kante bombing forwards and protecting himself, okay, up front. But they need also to be clinical because the chances are going to be there. But if you're not putting them away, if there's one team that can make you pay for these is Real Madrid because they have the know-how, they have the experience, they've been through war, all kinds of war, they've seen it all. And once you miss those opportunities, they will make you pay for it. So this is what Tuchel, okay, has to say to his guys. We know the chances are going to be there. But at that time, we need you to be clinical. Because if you're not clinical, we're going to pay that.
That's good.
Exactly.
And any
Exactly.
score prediction, guys, on Wednesday for Chelsea Real
I,
Madrid?
I think 2-1 Chelsea in the final.
Yeah, I think so too. I believe it's gonna be 2-1 Chelsea.
What about you, DJ?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
You
It's
gotta
Champions
you
League.
gotta say something.
I don't know, man.
you, you want to go quiet.
Like one thing I definitely will say is like I've said, like I mean Chelsea has to defend with the ball as much as possible. Like there will be times where they will be forced, pinned back by Real Madrid pushing them. But as Real Madrid are pushing them, they need to be able to be solid and being able to counter. But when they are coming out with the ball, they must basically like keep Real Madrid from having the ball as much as possible. Because if you keep giving them the ball, that's more chance they will be able to get in order to kind of like attack you and hurt you. So and Chelsea knows one goal and things start changing. Like the dynamics of the game change. Like Real Madrid knows that they need one goal. And I'm pretty sure they're gonna take their time and not try to go forward and leave themselves exposed at the back too much. And Chelsea also needs to be calm because one thing that has been the bedrock of Chelsea since Tuchel took over is their composure on the ball. Like you will not speed them up. They will be very composed on the ball, especially with Jorginho and Kovacic. Like they've been able to play around the pressing and being able to hold on to the ball whenever that they're being pressed and play their game. So it will be a battle it will be a battle of speed, physicality, and intensity.
Indeed, it's gonna be a battle. So yeah, let's move to the next game that's gonna have City versus PSG. Kevin De Bruyne, he said on the press conference, we were told to play a little bit better more with the ball. That's what Guardiola told the team. Not sure whoever wants to go first. What do you think that message brought to the second half, and what is it gonna bring also to the next game?
I think
Yeah, go ahead.
Anyone
I,
wants to go?
I think what happened, okay, in the first half between City and PSG, there is like some element, okay, to actually explain that. The first thing, okay, that explain that is because Guardiola was so wary and afraid of PSG's firepower on the break. He basically told himself and his guys that we do not concede on the break. And by doing so, okay, they had a very low block. let's say, a medium block, and they were so concerned about not giving up spaces in their back that they forgot to play. And uh, PSG was so good technically that Verratti, that triad of Verratti, Paredes, and Gay, they were giving them all they want, not only holding the ball but also passing the ball around, and going around, a City's pressing that was a little bit like a bicycle, and make sure that the ball arrives to Verratti, and Verratti from Verratti to Neymar, and Neymar can connect, with Mbappe. But what PSG cannot find, and they were ready, to roll, because remember what they did against Barcelona and against a Bayern. They were able to blow them out the water with their lightning speed, with their blazing counterattacks. But Pep didn't want to give them. At the same time, they were looking for it, and Pep knew they were looking for it and didn't want to concede it to them. And they had good spells in the first half where they could have scored, like that one give and go between Neymar and Verratti when they shot, and Ederson, deflected the ball in corner, and but they were able to open the score on a set piece, on a corner. And the reason why is when you look, at the when you zoom in into the action, you see what happens. Paredes actually went to bother Diaz, knowing that Diaz is the best aerial defender, that City has. And by bothering Diaz, Diaz didn't see Marquinhos coming, from the blind side, and that's how, they conceded, and they almost conceded another goal on another corner at the end of the first half. That time it was Neymar for Paredes, and it was inches wide. I think when they got into the dressing room at halftime, the pep talk was like, uh, guys, let's play our game. Playing our game means bring a high line, pressure, PSG's back line. And when we have the ball, we're gonna have great spells of passing, and moving, in half spaces and creating chances, for ourselves. And that's what they did. And for some reason, PSG crumble as the game was moving, to the hour, to the hour mark. After Mbappe's chance, where when he crossed and Verratti was too short,
to
to
get it.
make it 2-0, then it was all City. Not only City had great spells of possessions, they were giving them all they could take, and they were running around, PSG's midfield that was reduced only to block, not only defending very low, and Di Maria, in itself was a second fullback, on top of Florenzi, and Verratti was asked to do the same with back here, and Verratti, got burned out very quickly, and because Neymar and Mbappe were not involved in all the effort, and City was like going full gear, there was way too much for everybody to do. And especially Gay. Gay got frustrated because he had to cover for almost everybody. And that's what led, to the red card, because he got frustrated for running around, after the ball, when there are only 7 or 8 guys running around, and when City is passing the ball around, with 10 guys. So I think, again, this is the mistake uh, for PSG. If you're gonna play like that, if you're gonna sit back and watch a City enjoy like the lion's share of the possession and actually implement their game, then there's no need of Verratti here. You need a real workhorse like a Herrera, like that Danilo
Danilo.
Pereira. Okay, exactly. If you're gonna have Verratti there, he has to be useful, and the only way he can be useful if you're keeping the ball, going for good spells of possession, and actually trying to move the team high up the pitch. But if you're gonna sit down and watch City, you better serve with real defenders than a Verratti playing this role. Yeah.
What about you guys? What do you guys think about the game, the results, and then coming on Tuesday?
I definitely think in Champions League you need luck. Look at the first goal and the second goal.
Yeah.
First goal, I mean, PSG could have avoided.
I think they didn't know how it was gonna dip. They were kind of confused.
Yeah, it was luck, but it's not like a open play build up, you know, and a cross and a header, you know, just luck. And the second goal, the wall, man, the wall.
Yeah,
I think it was I don't remember who
between
it was, but so basically it was 2 goals.
And
Paredes.
Yeah.
So at the end, you need luck to like win. So
yeah, I mean, I think I've made a
overall, CD played better in the second half. So I think they deserve the win at the end. I think so.
Do you think that 1 second, Rodolphe, do you think that it's good? How do you think it's gonna be in the second game? Like, you think PSG is gonna attack more and try to hold the ball more, even though it's difficult against Pep?
Well, they need to attack more. They need goals. They need to be more clinical because they, when you look back at the game versus what was the game?
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Bayern?
No, Bayern, exactly. That was
the return leg. Yeah, there is a lot of
exactly. Neymar, Mbappe, and everything. You know, they need to be more clinical. It's not a thing for Chelsea, you know, it's a PSG thing.
It's what PSG.
Same disease, yeah.
I know.
What about you, Rodolphe?
I think PSG will score, but Manchester City is just too talented. They just have so much potency up front to keep them like from not scoring. I think PSG will win, but Manchester City is going to end up going through because it's two goals. Scoring, like beating Manchester City by 2 goals is a pretty big mountain to climb. They might be winning by 1 goal, like 2-1 PSG or something like that. But at the end of the day, I think
2-1 PSG actually takes them to extra time.
Extra time. They will force extra time, exactly.
Yes, they might exactly. But beating Manchester City, it's gonna be tough, like because they just have so much potency. Like even though PSG played them out of the park in the first 45 minutes, but I don't think it was more of a surprise in terms of what took it took Guardiola by surprise, and then when he adjusted, now that he knows how to adjust, I don't know if PSG has a counter plan to Guardiola's counter. So I think they're just gonna kind of do the same thing, which Guardiola already knows, and from there it will be a battle of who can control the ball. Exactly, who can score more, and then I believe at the end of the day, Manchester City is going to score. They're going to score at home, which will end up being the difference and allowing them to go through.
So everyone has City going through.
City, yeah. But probably, I don't know if PSG will play better compared to the first games versus Bayern or Barcelona. In the second leg, it's like they always panic. They have the advantage. They won the first leg versus Barcelona and versus Bayern. But in the second leg, it's like they always panic. And so now it's the first time they're facing this situation. So I don't know if they will play like they have nothing to lose or, with no pressure. So we'll see.
Neymar said
probably that will force them to play better. Yeah.
Of course, I mean you will see the full extent of Neymar and Mbappe.
Exactly.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried about them.
But you're gonna need more than Neymar and Mbappe to actually score against City. That's where the dilemma is for a Pochettino. Are you gonna put a Verratti back on the pitch and try to count on Di Maria, Verratti, Neymar, and Mbappe to create something, At the same time, if you lose control of the ball in the possession, these guys, unless except Di Maria, these guys they're not gonna run around, okay, and win the ball back, okay, as you would like it and as you would want it. We understand, okay, that Neymar and Mbappe, they they are like the superstars. You cannot, they are untouchables. But when it comes to Verratti, if he's not building, if he's not in the building process, if he's not
He's
in
not
the
on the ball.
possession phase, he will be, he will have very little value to you if you're running around, okay, after the ball, especially when you won't have, okay, Idrissa Gueye to cover for everybody. And you're gonna have, okay, to have Danilo and Paredes, okay, doing the dirty work. Verratti can't do the dirty work. He doesn't have the temperament for that, for it. He doesn't have the skill for it. He doesn't have the stamina for it. So you're gonna have to judge, okay, how you're gonna use him, Verratti. Are you gonna use him for the first 45 minutes or for the last 45 minutes? Because obviously you cannot use him over 90 minutes. Otherwise, you're playing like 11 versus 8, basically, okay, with City monopolizing the ball.
It's gonna be two amazing games. So it's gonna be a good week.
It is.
Good soccer
It
week.
is.
So we actually running low on time. Zoom just gave me a message saying that they're gonna end that call in a minute. So it was a pleasure to get all your insight, guys. We're gonna see how it's gonna go. Anyone got any last words to support their teams?
Go City, go Paris.
Wow.
I will say, like, I mean, Chelsea's been craving for that final. Like, we've been chasing it since 2012. Like, it's been a lot of things. I love the way that they've transformed under Tuchel, and I'm looking forward, like, for them to go through. I really, really, really would love to win the Champions League, but I do understand that this team is fairly young and they are like ahead of the curve in a sense. So if they were to take a setback and not really going through, it doesn't. I mean, it's not a shame to lose to Real Madrid in the Champions League. But
Imagine the storylines. City goes through, and with it, basically, okay, Guardiola has nothing to prove. He's done it all.
Yes.
And
that's true.
if PSG go all the way and wins it, Neymar has fulfilled his promise. He brought it for Paris. If Madrid wins it, Zidane has done it without Cristiano. Now, what can you say about it?
Not only without Cristiano, he's facing a lot of injuries right now.
Exactly.
A lot of injuries.
He's done a lot, man. He's done.
Yeah.
Well,
everybody
Chelsea,
has some type of fairy tale storyline.
Imagine Thomas Tuchel, okay, facing his old team in the final. Too many great storylines.
So many beautiful storylines.
Didier, Ralph, and Rodolphe, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you guys next time.
Oh, for sure,
Thank you for the invite.
No problem. Thank you very much.